Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do a tutorial on this look right here. I'm trying to do the whole beauty guru glam like sesh thing, but I don't know, whatever. We're going to jump right in. Bring it in. We are going to do the NYX Microbrow pencil with the brows. First I comb them up and then I line them out. Going with my natural shape of my brow, I do extend the tail just a tiny bit to frame my eyes a little better, and then I use short hair-like strokes to fill them in. I also like to add a few hair-like strokes in the center of my face to extend the brows inward, just like that, and then I spoolie them out just because my brow hairs are scarce. Moving on, I'm going to start with Urban Decay Primer Potion on my eyelids. And then I go to the Wet n Wild contour palette. I use the highlight shade just to soften up that eye primer. And I go ahead and I put that all over the lid. Morphe 35O2. Can you tell how happy I was to get this? I'm going to use Universal as my transition shade here. I have heavily hooded lids, so I have to put the transition shade and crease colors a little bit above my natural crease, or they just simply disappear when I open my eyes. So I'm using Spice as my crease shade, and I'm going to just blend that out. Again, I'm a little bit above the crease, but it is my crease color. And then I use So Warm on the outer half of my lid, just in that outer V there. And then we blend it in for a nice gradient look. I want to deepen that up just a little more, so I'm going to go with Brunette. And I put that on the outer V, but not quite as far in as I did before. And then with a wet synthetic brush, I use Halo. And I'm going to put that all over my lid. Now, it's a little darker than you would think for a color called Halo, but very pretty, as you can tell. I'm excited about it. I'm going to use Bronzy just to lighten up the center of the lid. Sorry I'm so close, guys. I did not realize how zoomed in I was. So just right there in the center. Okay, so I wanted to deepen it up a little bit more. As you can tell from my face right here, I'm a little scared to use black because I tend to blow it out. So I'm going to take a smaller, more detail, like a small detail brush, and put it on the very outer corner. And then I drag it towards the center, almost where my liner is going to be. And then, of course, we're blending because blend is what we do. Micellar cleansing water, just hopefully I said that right, but I'm just cleaning up that area right there. And then I'm going in with the Senegence liquid liner. This is called Starry Sky. It's black with like some silver sparkle in it. Not that you can really see that. And I am so proud of myself right here because winging it out is like a constant struggle for me, but I make it look so easy right here. Look at that. Oh, God, I'm so proud of myself. Moving on to the face. Porefessional Matte Rescue and Primer is what we're using today, just in the T-zone area. And then I'm going to move on to the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation in Shell Beige. I think it's 102. I'm using a Real Techniques sponge, and I love this sponge so much. Got to get the pink here. We can't forget about that. I did try another shade of this foundation that I hated. I think it was 103, and it oxidized so badly that my entire face looked just like my lids do now. It was like very Trumpish. Moving on to concealer, Maybelline Age Rewind. I'm going to use this both to conceal my under eye bags, which are substantial, and also to partially highlight my face. Now, if I wasn't going for like more of a glam look, I would just highlight with this. Well, let's be honest, I'd use a highlighter on my cheekbones and Cupid's bow because I can't live without that. But mainly, I just use concealer to highlight where the light would hit on my face, usually if I'm not going all glam. So guys, this, again, I'm sorry, I thought it was focusing, but it wasn't. It's the Photo Finish HD powder, and I use this just under my eyes to avoid some more creasing. I used to use the Mercier powder, which I'm going to use to bake my face right now, but I used to use that under my eyes, and I found that it just gave a really awful, creasy, like powdery look. So I do use it kind of on the apples of my cheeks, but if you notice, I don't push it way up into the under eye. Back to the eyes now. We're going to do the lower lash line now that our concealer is in place. I love Morphe, obviously. Combining Universal and Spice, I'm going to use that to just kind of smoke out my lower lash line. I tend to combine the transitioning crease colors for this, but you don't have to combine them on the same brush. You can do them separately. I'm going to go ahead and use this pencil brush to go in with Brunette first. and I'm going to just deepen up the lower lash line. It's kind of smudged out a little higher than where I put Universal and what's that color? The other color. I forget the name of it. Spice. So then I will also take this smaller detail brush I used before and use Wiz to connect the wing to the lower lash line, and that's very tight to the lower lash line so that we get a nice gradient look. And then of course we're blending again. Blend, blend, blend. Pure has got to be one of my favorite colors in this palette from Morphe. I'm using that as kind of an inner corner highlight, and I just love the way it looks. It just blends in so nicely. I'm also going to use that in the arch of my brow and blend it out a little on either side, but I'm only going to do a little bit there because I find if I use too much highlight on the brows, it's not good. So shocker, another Morphe brush, the Y6 I'm using to wipe away that powder. I find this brush does a really nice job of wiping away that powder without taking the makeup off underneath. The bronzer I'm using today is Rimmel London. It's the natural bronzer shade Sunshine to add some color back to the perimeter of the face because it looks a little flat from the foundation. I think of the bronzer as kind of like a transition shade for the contour. Moving on to the contour, I am using the Hoola bronzer from Benefit, and I start up near the top of my ear and just kind of bring it down towards the corner of my mouth. I'm not bringing it all the way down towards the mouth, I'm just blending it upwards from probably about the edge of the apple of my cheek. Then I am going to move on to the jawline because you know your girl needs her jawline to look a little more cut than it normally is. I like my jawline. So there's my crooked hairline that we're working on now. I'm going to put a little more contour in this section right here just because it helps to make my hairline look a little more even, a little optical illusion, if you will. Now I'm going to move on to the nose. So a lot of people go up to the corner of the eye, but nope, not for me. I have a triangular nose shape, so I start from about halfway down the bridge, and then I just kind of round out the bottom. And then we blend it in, of course. We love our blending. So I'm going to move on to blush now. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay. If you guys don't know, Sephora gives you a gift on your birthday. That's how I got this shade Party, and I love it. This is the best blush I have ever used in my life. So pretty, so long wearing. All right, the Morphe R36 brush, that's what I use for my highlight. I'm going to use the Fairy highlighter. I like to go across all 4 shades there, and I'll just put it on the high points. And you know, I do this all the time. Let me know if you're the same way, but I always say, oh, just a little bit of highlighter. And then I go ham and highlight my whole face. I don't always do that, but when I use a highlight, I do that. Just a little more. That's also a really good highlight for the inner corner, by the way. So, yay. All right, so I tried this Wet n Wild nude liner for my waterline. I didn't like it, so I went with this black liner from Styly Style. Even though it closed off the eye a little bit, but I like it. And then I added some mascara. I don't know what's up with the light right there. Sorry about that. Now I'm using a liquid lipstick from NYX that I really like, but it kind of makes me look like I'm drowning. I do overline my top lip just a little bit because it's thinner than the bottom lip, and I like them a little more even. Now I'm going in with a lip plumping gloss. I think it's in the shade Kim, also from NYX, and this is the final look. So please be sure to subscribe to my channel before you leave, and thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye!